It's a beautiful game adored by billions around the world, but only a few lucky ones get to play it professionally. A career may only last up to 15 years, so what's next for footballers when they retire? Hello there and welcome to Football Now from Doha. Now for many, being a footballer is the ultimate life goal. Getting paid, often very handsomely, to keep fit and kick a ball around whilst enjoying the adulation of thousands of supporters inside a stadium and millions of fans online. But footballers' careers are short, with many lasting up to 15 years. And whilst the end of your playing days may be classed as retirement, there's still a whole lifetime to go.
It's a day no footballer ever wants to happen when they have to retire from professional football, but it does happen to every single player. And it's difficult, no matter how good a player you are, whatever level you get to, it is a very, very difficult adjustment for everyone. And the biggest thing is structure. The word structure is the biggest thing that is missing from a player's life when they retire. From the age of 5, all they've ever known is structure. School, when they get to 16 in professional football. So they've always been told where to be and when to be. When they retire, there is nobody to tell them what to do. So that is one of the biggest challenges. Financially as well, obviously players live to a certain means, and then that adjustment can be difficult as well. So big challenges that no player wants to have to face, but they have to face when they retire.
Now, who better to hear from on the topic than a World Cup winner? Gilberto Silva lifted that famous trophy back in 2002 and he was invincible with Arsenal just a couple of years later. The midfield maestro retired from playing in 2015, but instead of going into football management, he's juggled a number of successful projects.
I have done a lot of things since I get off the field, you know. And then in 2016, I became sports director at Panathinaikos. And for a period of time. Then I left Panathinaikos. I made a decision and started to work as a football agent, work with Fred. That later on moved to Manchester United and still there since 2018. Apart from that, you know, I have some other occupations. I have my own business in Brazil. I have a hotel in my hometown, and I have some other business in constructions, and very soon we are going to launch a digital platform.
So Gilberto has been a busy man since finishing his playing days, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's easy to forge new career paths. He says one of the most difficult challenges of life after football is a lack of structure.
You have to find a way of dealing, because you don't have the same routine. You need to find a way. What's your routine now? What motivates you? What you want to do for yourself for the future? You want to be in sport? You want to be like a punditry, be part of the game? But you have to find out what is your passion afterwards.
So it's common knowledge that being a footballer can be a lucrative career choice. But as we've heard, the lure of stardom can often mean that players put all of their eggs in one basket in the hope of making it to pro level. So just how important is education for those young aspiring players?
The reality is you are out of the game a lot longer than you are in the game, and players have to realise that. Those that are fortunate enough to have 5, 10, 15 years careers have to know that there is life and a future for them at the end of that career. I remember a bit of advice when I was at Liverpool. Steve Highway said to me, "We're preparing you for the day you leave this football club." I'd only just signed, I don't want to leave, but that was the idea, to say, listen, enjoy every day you've got at this football club and in your career, because you have to know that there is life after football. Now, for young players, they can be lazy in a sense that they don't want to face the reality. They don't want to work on what is next, whether it's a course, a degree, some kind of further education, coaching or whatever, and they can put it off until it becomes a bit panicky at the age of 30, where they're thinking, wow, I do really need to do something. So education is paramount.
Let's now take a look at some of the other paths that footballers have taken upon retirement. Former Wigan Athletic defender Ian Dezeyu went from tackling strikers to catching criminals. He's now a police detective in his native Netherlands. He's also got a medical degree too. Former Germany goalkeeper Tim Weiss swapped football for wrestling, quitting the game in 2014 to pursue a career in the WWE. Former Wolves centre-back Jody Craddock is now a full-time artist specialising in oil painting. France and Manchester United legend Eric Cantona was a personality on the pitch and became one on the big screen too, appearing in over 30 movies, including the BAFTA award-winning Elizabeth and Looking for Eric, directed by Ken Loach. Former Real Madrid midfielder Royston Drenthe quit football at 32 to become a rapper under the name Royat Two Faces. And ex-Leeds, Birmingham and Newcastle midfielder Lee Bowyer traded one type of tackle for another, spending the majority of his time running a carp fishing lake upon retirement. And more recently, the likes of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Robin van Persie and even current footballer Cristiano Ronaldo became the latest to invest in the world's fastest growing sport, paddle tennis. Yeah, I've got a feeling we'll be seeing a few more players holding paddle rackets over the next few years or so. That brings us to the end of this week's show. Do let us know your thoughts at home using the hashtag FootballNowRetirement, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.